Back on MLB Central, Tom Verducci manning the inside corner. Let's have a Monday. Good morning to you, my friend.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for being with us. Last time we spoke, I think, was in the offseason. There's always a few big topics, right? Nolan Arenado was one of those at the top of the list. Fast forward to now, home run opening day, curtain call. A couple games in, what have you seen?
Crazy, isn't it? It's a great story because we thought he was going to be somewhere else. He thought he was going to be somewhere else. And there he is, as you said, taking curtain calls at Busch Stadium. He's also looking like the old Arenado. Not the old one in terms of age, but going back a couple of years ago. Last year, he had real trouble getting to velocity. People thought maybe the bat was a little slow. On opening day against Griffin Jacks, this is an eye-opener of a swing. That's almost 97, 98 up and in. I'll tell you, the last time Nolan Arenado turned on a pitch that fast, Lauren, you got to go back 3 years. Because those pitches he was not handling last year, just wasn't as quick to the baseball. Here's the last time he did it, going back to 2022. That's the same location, but the velocity is what he's getting to now, wasn't last year. Wasn't done yet. He had a great weekend. His trademark has always been he keeps his head on the ball longer than anybody in baseball, right? And he was doing that, spraying balls on the field. Let's go back to last year. Look at velocity up there. Look at his hands. You see how high they are?
They're high, yeah.
And even in his low position, he's got a long swing to start out with. Only J.D. Martinez and Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton have longer swings. But now look where his hands are. He's got them lower, and he keeps them lower in the loaded position. He's just a hair quicker to the baseball, and a hair is all it takes to catching the ball out front rather than getting jammed, as you see on the left, catch the ball out front. The position of his hands, Lauren, came last year because he feels like to get the ball out of Busch Stadium, he's got to really crank up his hands and get him back here. Actually, that's counterintuitive because that's making his swing longer and slower. So by getting his hands here, quicker to the baseball, jumping off his bat, that was a really good sign for the Cardinals who had a great weekend.
It really is cool to see the side-by-side. You see a big difference. Tom, it's so crazy to go into a season when we talk about big-name guys who aren't playing yet, right? The J.D. Martinez, the Anthony. These guys were mainstays, and you looked up. Older players, 36, I guess, is the threshold, and up. There's a drop-off. Why?
Yeah, I started asking that question. What's going on? Guys like J.D. and Riz can't get a job. The game has really changed. First of all, you've got velocity in the game that I think teams want to go with the younger players because they've been trained on this velocity, not adjusting to it. But looking at the numbers here, the number of plate appearances for guys 36 and older, it's the lowest it's been on a percentage basis in half of a century. And it's been going down precipitously. And if you don't like the math of it, let me just show you graphically what it means. When you talk about steep declines, percentage of plate appearances by players 36 and older, down, 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 down. It's not going back. Part of the reason also is we only have 4-man benches now. And one of them has to be a catcher. There's only 3 spots. Those guys have to be position versatile. They've got to be athletic. They've got to play different parts of the field. The older guy tends not to be that kind of player. So I don't think this is a trend that's turning around. The other thing, Lauren, is we see more players 25 and under now just hit the ground running. There's no bias against younger players. In fact, there's actually a preference for younger players. Last 2 years, the only 2 years in history, 25 and under had 1,200 homers, 1,200 stolen bases. They're that good. Plug and play.
Trained on velocity, not adjusting to it is what I took away from that. That's crazy to think. It's tough to make it in this game. It's more difficult to stay. And you and I were talking about Mickey Gasper and kind of his story to the major leagues. We talk about a grind. It was a grind for him. So many people would have given up.
Yeah, you have to root for guys like
you
that.
Have
right?
to.
He's 29 years old, drafted in 2018 in the 27th round.
Okay.
That's a round that doesn't even exist anymore. He's out of Bryant College. The Yankees drafted him, spent a ton of years in the minor leagues. The Red Sox take him in the Rule 5 draft. He's a New Hampshire kid with the Red Sox. Right storybook. Goes to the Red Sox, get 18 at-bats, no hits. The worst part of it is after each at-bat, he'd go back and look on the iPad at his at-bat, and they showed the local feed in Boston, and they were showing his parents. So in the dugout after he's over, he's seeing his parents. Finally, he had to put that thing away. Too much pressure. He gets traded on Christmas Eve. First of all, who makes a trade on Christmas Eve, right? He gets traded to the Twins. They love him. This guy switch hits. He's a grinder. They actually had him as their third catcher. 0 for 2 his first 2 at-bats. Third time up. The moment we've all been waiting for.
Nervous.
Right? 1,600 plate appearances in the minor leagues, 8 years, 3 different teams, and it's a perfect first hit. Why? Because he's got to hustle to get it. He's hustled his whole life. And yes, his parents were in the stands. How can you not be happy for a guy like this? Mick the Kid, they call him. I love Rocco Baldelli said he's like a 1986 baseball card. How perfect is that? First guy I thought of was Gary Gaetti. Come on. You talk about throwbacks. And now you got to root for Mickey Gasper.
We are rooting for him.
It's me, Mario.
And now I'm thinking of all the trades on Christmas Eve. I'm sure that's something Eric Mays is thinking in our research department. Tom Verducci, you're going to stick around with us, and we're going to take a quick time out on MLB Central. Sean, good morning to you. Thanks for taking the time. Why is it 30 degrees there?
Good morning, guys. I don't know. I'm not a weatherman. I'm a baseball player, so you're going to have someone else that.
I mean, your first outing, there was traffic in the first couple innings, and you navigated around them beautifully. How did you feel?
I felt good. I think it was cool to get the first opening day roster also be my first opening day start.
Yeah.
Obviously, the fans came out there huge. I felt the energy of the ballpark. So I think all in all, it was a surreal experience.
Do you think coming up last year, having a taste of success kind of helped you leading into spring training and then getting that opening day start?
Yeah, 100%. I think that just going into the offseason, I was a little bit more confident in the work I was putting in, just so I knew what I had to face, and I knew what kind of the lineups looked like. I faced some pretty good lineups last year, so coming into this year, I had confidence in my stuff, and I had confidence in what I was doing to prepare for it.
Sean, you were the talk. I did White Sox preview, spring training. You were the talk of camp. Whenever I asked like Chris Getz or Josh Barfield or the higher ups, I'm like, give me a name, somebody to watch. You were the first name that came out of their mouth every time. That has to make you feel good.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think them, giving me the opening day nod just shows that they have a ton of belief in me, and I'm grateful for that. Especially with kind of the lack of experience I had coming into this year, just for them to be that high on me and have that amount of belief in me, it means the world to me.
Okay. Sean, what does it mean you and the rest of your rotation mates did not give up an earned run during that series with the Angels? You got the Twins this afternoon, but what does that mean for you and the rest of your teammates, for your starters to pitch so well?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think getting off to a good start is huge. I thought Cannon and Davis both threw the ball really, really well. I think all of us kind of dealt with a little bit of traffic and some stuff in the beginning of the game, some early base runners, stuff like that. But I thought we all did a pretty good job getting out of it. I think the defense played really well all weekend. So Martine's going to look to kind of continue that trend tonight, and then from there we just got to keep building off of it.
I was listening to you, Sean, after the game. You said I had a good game plan against the entire lineup, but how much of that stays, and how much of it is adjusting to the game and on the fly?
Yeah, I think obviously I like to be super prepared going into the game. I like to
what
have
is
a
that
really
like?
good feel.
What's that preparation look like?
So honestly, it starts usually the day after. So I pitched on Thursday. That preparation for the Twins for me started on Friday. So I'll start looking at their lineup. I'll go through their hitters. I'll look at my reports, different stuff like that, just so I'm getting comfortable with what they do well and where their damage is, where they want the ball, and then kind of lining up my strengths and taking the two and pairing them together, and then seeing what can I do well and what do they do bad, and let's match that up and go attack that. So you have the plan going into it, but obviously the game's gonna tell you what's working and what's not working. So it's a little bit of both. You got to kind of learn on the fly, but I think also coming in prepared is huge.
We saw after the opening day win that new manager Will Venables, who got, of course, his first big league win as a skipper, got quite the reception in the clubhouse. What was that like?
It was super cool. I think everybody in that clubhouse loves Will. He's a good dude. He's a good manager. He's a good leader. So for him to get some recognition for that, and just the joy on his face when he was going through in the cart was awesome.
I want to ask you where you're staying in Chicago. I know the weather's bad now, but when there's nothing like a beautiful summer in Chicago, and I'm saying as you got rookie status, you got to watch it because those streets will swallow you up if you're not careful. You know that. Chicago's taking down many a ball player.
I'm staying downtown, so I'll make sure to kind of keep my nose out of it for the most part. But I'm trying to enjoy myself. We actually had a nice day on Friday.
You can put your nose in a little bit, but
oh my gosh, you got to wear that chain when you go out. Sean, I've been trying to get my guys a little bit swaggier. You're very swag.
I'm 50. It's over.
I mean,
I'm hanging up.
It's not over, Sean, right?
Left, Sean. 20 good summers left.
Mixed in a little necklace, and away we go, right?
Give yourself some more credit.
What are you having for breakfast?
Breakfast this morning? I already ate it. I already had some French toast casserole, some fruit, some eggs, coffee, orange juice, water, some milk.
Oh, so you're a big breakfast guy.
Butter and milk.
Oh yeah. I try to. I'm a big milk guy, honestly, too.
Milk?
I get chirped a little bit in the clubhouse. Yeah, 2% whole milk, whatever you need.
French toast casserole.
Whole milk.
I've had it.
Whole milk.
Yeah.
I love that. Hey, you went to the.
You ever go to Europe and the
You
whole
went to
milk
the University of Maryland. Your Terps got bounced over the weekend. But did you happen to check out? Did you see Lauren's performance
oh my gosh.
on the sidelines at all?
He doesn't care. He's pitching six scoreless innings.
I didn't see her performance. I heard, though, that she was at the game. I was actually, after the game, my family and I went out to dinner. One of my cousins went to Florida. So we were kind of going back and forth at dinner with that game going on.
Hey, why is Lightning McQueen your profile on Instagram?
So honestly, it goes back to college. Me and my college roommates were watching Cars one afternoon, or like one rainy day.
What were you doing?
And I was watching. I was like, man, this dude's sick. And he always has that slogan, "I want to go fast." And it's like, I want to throw fast. I love it. So I stuck with it.
Do you like Dua Lipa? We had this conversation in the break.
I do like Dua Lipa. I like female artists. We actually had a little game in spring training this year.
I also like female artists.
Didn't really fall through, but we had the highest ERA in spring training. We got to pick their walkout song, and this year it was Jonathan Cannon. So we wanted to make it Yeah Globe like Glorilla, and they didn't play it first game. So we're going to have to talk to somebody up there about that.
Yeah, talk to somebody. By the way, when Daddy takes his medicine, I too watch Cars. So it's good. It's good. It's good stuff. I know what you mean. Hey, Sean, thanks very much for joining us.
We're following you from now on.
Hey, congratulations on the great start. That's a great way to begin 2025, and best of luck to you and the White Sox today against the Twins.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.